Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Chris. I hope you're doing great like always. Today we're going to take a look at a couple of new lights from Smallrig. These are amazing. We're talking the RC450D and 450B. I reviewed on this channel previously the RC120s and RC220s that you can go check up here if you haven't watched them yet. These are two beasts. They're insanely powerful for the size and weight, and I'm going to tell you everything there is to know about them. Let's do it. For comparison purposes, I'm going to use an RC120 that I have here because all my 220s are at the moment being used to lit me up for this video. But in terms of size and weight, this is exactly the same thing. Design-wise, they did a whole lot of improvements. It looks more futuristic, like they like to call it on their website, but it's true. It actually looks better. It's all rounded. It looks very, very neat. If you compare this to the more boxy type of look that the RC120 and 220 had, it does look a little different. Now, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily better in terms of features. In fact, it isn't, but it just looks better and more pleasing to the eye. The RC450D stands for daylight, so 5600 Kelvin in terms of color temperature, and the RC450B stands for bicolor, so you can go all the way from warmer tones at 2700 Kelvin, and you can go all the way to 6500 Kelvin, which is more of a bluish type of light. Now, one thing you can do on the daylight version is adding gels. For example, here I have CTO, color temperature orange. I have 3 different types of strength, and you can put CTB for color temperature blue. And you can put this in front of your light to change the color temperature. You are going to lose some power. That's like for every other gel that you put in front of your light, but you can modify the light anyway. Now, if you're on the go and you need to change the color temperature of your light without having to fiddle around with gels, you can do so directly in the B version. In terms of weight, we're at 4.2 kilos with the light stand adapter included. Let me tell you, that's a big difference compared to the RCs 120 or 220. These are really small and compact and light. This is not that lightweight. But again, we are talking close to 500 watt power. It is very, very powerful, very strong. And for the amount of power this thing can generate and the technology that's included in it, it is actually not that heavy. They use the AstralTech optical system, which is probably proprietary to Smallrig. It is a technology that requires less juice in terms of electrical power, and that is brighter as a result. So you can have more light with less juice. That brings me to the next point, and that is the chip they used on this light. It is a patented chip that is up to 35% bigger, larger than a regular COB chip on board, and that produces, therefore, more brightness than the regular chips. Let's have a look at the lux output of these lights. So at 1 meter of distance, so 3.3 feet, the daylight version can produce 172,000 lux, and the bicolor version can produce 121,000 lux. That is, again, very, very powerful and strong. That is a lot. That is a lot of light. The CRI is 96 plus, so the reproduction index for the colors is very good. The higher you go, the better it is. That means that the colors will be much closer to reality than lights that are lower in CRI. Let's not look at a detail that is a detail, but to me, it is a very, very important detail, okay? And that is the fact that there's a lanyard to hold the power adapter. You can literally put it on your stand. And now that is like just literally, we're talking about a little wire rope of plastic that allows you to just put it on the light stand. That is a life savior. If you compare this to a smaller version like the RC120s and 220s, the problem I have with those is that I never know what to do with the power block. For example, up here, I have a light strip with a 220 that goes all the way to the ceiling on the C-stand, okay? Now, when I try to pull the cable down, I get to a point where I need to put that power block somewhere, and right now it's standing on my desk. In that case of the new lights, you can just put it on the light stand and that's it, no more problem. I know it's a small minor detail, but it is very important, and I think it's a great move for Smallrig. There is a secure damping system that you will find right here on the tripod stand. The cool thing about this is that, you know, sometimes when you use your lights and you put a heavy modifier in front of it, such as, for example, a big softbox or a lantern or whatnot. You put it on and it starts falling down. Or if you didn't tie it properly, it just goes down at once. And that can either break your modifier or your light or both if it's not securely tied up. This thing that they did here basically holds the light and prevents it from falling down. So you can go, again, 220 degrees tilting, but you go slowly. Even if you push on it, the light will go slowly. And if you don't do anything and you didn't tie it up, most of the time, if your modifier is not too heavy, it's not going to move, at least for a little bit. That is a great peace of mind when you have a big piece of equipment such as these lights, to know that they're not going to fall and break. I mean, they're quite heavy compared to other smaller lights, so you're happy to have such a system. You can remove the stand adapter. This guy here, in fact, you see it on the B here. I didn't put it on to show you. So it keeps a pretty small profile, and that's cool because you can put it on the shelf or, you know, store it away, flushed, and it's good to go. It doesn't take any space. This is all great. Lots of power, lots of light. But what about the heat dissipation and the fan noise? Well, the heat gets dissipated through a big fan that's on top here. Big fan, and that is fine. And in terms of noise level, decibels, we are at 32 decibels at 1 meter away from your mic. Now, using such a light at 1 meter away, it's a bit of an overkill, to be honest. I would go for a 220 or even a 120 if you're gonna get that close to your subject or to the microphone. So usually you're gonna be farther away, at least 2, 3, 4, 5 meters away, right? In that case, you're not gonna hear anything. If you get real close, you hear a little bit the fans, but for the size of these lights, it is very, very good. There are a bunch of special effects, the usual regular ones, such as faulty light bulb, lightning, television, and whatnot. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on these. You can check my other videos if you wanna see those, but it's cool to have. You can put some, again, gels if you need to in front to emulate some, you know, fireworks and other things that you could be needing for what you're shooting. There is a phone app that you can use to control your lights. That's something that I use a lot of the time because, for example, here on my YouTube setup, I have 4 lights, and I like to be able to just control them as I go if needed. Same for when you're on set, you can just change the settings. Again, this guy is on the C-stand all the way up to the ceiling. Every time I have to turn it off or to change something, I have to bring it down and do the changes. So having it on the phone is a blessing. Let's talk about the price now. So these prices are the SMALLRIG website prices. We're talking for the B version, $1,099, and for the D version, $999. Last but not least, the bags. So this is what it comes in. This big bag here. It is a SMALLRIG bag. That's something that I like a lot. I like the design. I like this light gray type of design. They give you stickers. That's a minor detail, but I like them a lot. And this is the size of the 220 or 120, okay? So you can see the difference, or I'll try to show you the difference maybe in the B-roll, but it is a little bigger than the smaller lights. So they did change the size of the packaging of the case it comes in. Rightfully so. I mean, this is bigger. There, I hope I answered all and every question you had about these 450 lights. They are very strong lights, very powerful for a great price. I think you can't go wrong. SMALLRIG, so far, so good. They're doing great products right here, guys. So, you know, I still have my aperture light in the back here. I love this light, my 120D Mark II. But so far, all the products I've been using, be it the modifiers or the lights from SMALLRIG, have given me a great and professional result. So go check it out, and I see you like always in my next video. Write down any questions you have and take care. Bye.